Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us. We're so glad you're here. I'm Holly and this is Rachel, and we're from the cooking family, and we're just so excited to be here with you today. We've been telling you little things about our farm, and I think we've been telling you for a month now that we've been watching for our calf.
Yeah, it's been longer than we had expected.
That's right. So we got this cow, she's a heifer, when she was about 4.5 months old,
Pregnant.
4.5 months pregnant, but we weren't there when she was bred, so we don't know the exact date. And every week it just seems like she's more and more pregnant, and she's still pregnant. But we're watching her closely. Her udder is getting so big. We're so excited about all that awesome, yummy milk and butter and cheese that we're hoping to make. And so Miriam is actually watching her, and she's going to let us know if anything happens right now. So we've been watching for the calf to be born. What else has been going on this week, Rachel?
We got a 3-pound zucchini out of our garden because we didn't know it was there, and then we saw it and it was just humongous, and we decided we don't want to do that anymore. The seeds were pretty big, but that was a surprise.
That's right. So I've never grown zucchini before, and I cannot believe it's almost like going on an Easter egg hunt. The leaves are huge, and you've got to look all underneath those big leaves and find the zucchini, find the squash. It's super fun, and just really rewarding when you find a nice big squash or zucchini. So that is other fun things that have been going on. So we hope you'll like our video if you enjoy what you're seeing as we go along. Welcome to the cooking family. I'm Holly and this is Rachel, and we're gonna start making our Instant Pot meatloaf bites today, and also we're gonna make some mac and cheese, and it's so creamy and so yummy. It's just super comfort food. Welcome to the Instant Pot 101 for Beginners group. We're so glad you guys are here. Hi to Gail and hi to Amy. Thank you so much for welcoming us on your page. And if you would please do us a favor and like this video while you're watching. Facebook can be kind of funny about how they promote things, and so more people will get the opportunity to see this if you'll like the video and like the cooking family and just like everyone. So, and also if you know someone personally that you think would benefit from watching this, if you would go ahead and share this video with them, that would be awesome. So we're making meatloaf bites in the Instant Pot, and one of the great things about meatloaf bites is that they cook in a fraction of the time of whole meatloaf. So if you're a busy parent feeding kids or just have busy evenings, this cooks so much quicker than doing a big meatloaf. We just love it, and that's why we've kind of quit making whole meatloaf that you have to slice up and just doing the little individual ones. So we're going to be using the egg bite molds. These are so great. These are Hatrigo brand, and you can find them on Amazon, but we just want to thank Tran from Hatrigo for these, and I highly recommend those. So we're going to be using them in our Instant Pot meatloaf bites recipe. So here's how we do it. We're going to use ground beef and breakfast sausage or pork sausage. We've got 3 ounces of rolled oats, just regular oats. We're going to use a half of a celery. And this recipe, for our family, because we're a large family, we make a double recipe of what's on our website. So for the website, we cut it down to about a normal family size. And so if you want to go ahead and use the recipe calculator at thecookingfamily.com, find the meatloaf recipe, then use the recipe calculator, you can adjust the amount of servings. So it takes half a carrot, and Rachel's gonna rough chop these, a quarter of a bell pepper, and just a little bit of onion,
Yeah,
about a quarter of an onion. And we use 4 garlic cloves. So Rachel's gonna work on rough chopping those.
Okay.
And there you
I
go.
think there was a little tray that had my garlic cloves on it.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that anywhere here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And meat mallet for smashing those.
Thank you. So I'm going to start with the onion. I'm going to put on my cut glove really fast. And this is a really great recipe because you barely have to cut anything at all. The food processor does most of your chopping for you. So I'm just going to cut the stem off of this onion and cut the root off. And I'm actually going to cut the entire root off because we're just going to cut it into 4 pieces. So I'm going to get all of the pieces of root out of there and then chop it in half and then peel it. And if the peel should come right off like that, and if it doesn't, just go one more layer down. It's just worth a little bit of less onion in there to make up for how hard it can be to take off the peel sometimes. And then I'm going to cut this one in half and then put this in the food processor.
Okay.
And then these are just going to go.
That big chunk.
Yes, they do
Now,
just fall apart.
We do the dry. We're going to do the dry ingredients in the food processor first, so then it won't stick. And so we're using 3 ounces of rolled oats, just your regular breakfast rolled oats, and then a half a teaspoon of magic flavor dust. So if you don't know what magic flavor dust is, this is something we make at home. We have the recipe on our website, and we hope you'll go find that. But it makes life so much easier in the kitchen because I found I was pulling out onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper all the time. And so we just mix those all together and put them in one container, and then you don't have to reach for 4 things. It's just quicker, and you can just grab one thing. And then we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And we're just putting all these in the food processor bowl. I love using the food processor. It just makes everything so quick and easy. The cayenne pepper does add a little tiny bit of kick, but not much. Our little girls didn't even notice it. And then half a teaspoon of chili powder and half a teaspoon of thyme. So here's the chili powder. We always joke around when we're cooking with thyme because it's full of puns.
We're out of time.
We're out of time. Or do you have the time? Okay, so half a teaspoon each of thyme and chili powder. And here is the thyme. There you go. And then we're just going to put this in the food processor and go ahead and pulse it. To break up the rolled oats.
Yeah, this only takes like 10 pulses at most.
The food processor is usually something that I run myself rather than letting, especially the little ones, run. It's such a powerful tool. It's kind of the thing for the adult to do. Okay. So now once all those oats are totally ground up, then we're going to put this all into another bowl, into a large mixing bowl. And the oats are going to help that bind all together. And then Rachel's going to toss in her pieces of veggies, aromatic veggies.
Okay, so here goes the onion. And then I'm just going to chop this bell pepper in half. Put 1/2 over here, pull out the core, and get all the seeds out, and then cut it in half one more time, and then that 1/4 is just going to go right in.
So 1/4 of a bell pepper, 1/4 of an onion,
then
half
I'm going
a
to
carrot, half
chop
a celery.
off the ends of the carrot and celery, and then just snap it in half. There you go.
There you go.
That's all you have to do.
So easy. Okay. And we're going to put that in and pulse that up. Oh, what about the garlic?
Oh, I forgot about the garlic.
Okay, we don't want to forget the garlic.
That is one of the most flavorful parts of this.
That's right. We love to use a meat mallet to smash the garlic, and that just breaks the paper, makes it so much easier to peel.
And it's just so fun to do. I love doing
Yes.
the garlic chopping. And because we're doing it in the food processor, again, we don't even have to mince this at all. It'll just chop right up in the food processor. Also, I really have loved testing this recipe because it was so quick and easy.
Yes.
And it's 4 cloves of garlic.
Awesome. Okay, so all these veggies that we're putting in are flavorful aromatic veggies, and they add so much flavor. I didn't realize until I started studying cooking more how much the veggies aren't just to have a vegetable in it like your side of broccoli or whatever, but these veggies, carrot, onions, celery, bell pepper, garlic, those are just full of flavor, and they're foundations of flavor in your food. So they're gonna add a ton of flavor to this meatloaf. And we're gonna pulse it up. When you are doing veggies like this where you have a lot of big chunks, you definitely wanna pulse so you let those large chunks fall down in. And then I'm gonna take a rubber spatula and just kind of open this up, push the big pieces down in off the side so that they all get broken up. And I still have some large pieces. With meatloaf, you don't want large pieces. You want pretty consistently small pieces so that your meatloaf will all bind together and not fall apart because of big chunks of onion and carrot and things. Okay, I'm gonna let it pulse one more time. Here we go. And there we go. It smells so good when you open this up. You can just smell all the flavor of all those delicious veggies. And I see one piece of onion down in here that I'm gonna fish out because it's too big, but it won't chop up. So a little trick with your food processor, it's always so clumsy. Actually, this one I can take out, but you can stick your finger up in here if you're like pouring a liquid and hold that blade in. It makes it so much easier. Okay, so we're gonna pour this in our bowl. Oh yeah, I would love to use that. Thank you.
That one's designed for a food processor.
Yes. Okay, Rachel, fish out those big chunks. Yes.
Were there any more?
There's that big green bell pepper. So we're gonna fish out those big chunks, and then we are finished with the food processor. And the next thing is to add the meat. Set this here. So for this recipe, we're doing 1/2 pound of ground beef and 1/2 pound of breakfast sausage. So do you want to work on that breakfast sausage?
So we're just doing half of this.
So this is a full pound. We're just doing half of this and half of this. And if you want to, if you have a larger family, go ahead and double it and use the whole thing. Or you could also go ahead and do the same amount of work and have it all done and freeze the rest and pull this out for a really quick meal later on. Highly recommend doing that. Yep.
Halfway down.
So she's just gonna hold this and squeeze it in. It's not hard.
And that way I don't have to really touch it a lot. And that's a way to have some more sanitariness.
That's right. So, and then we want to not forget our liquid smoke.
Yes.
1 teaspoon of liquid smoke is gonna go in. And then 1 egg. And our little chicken, our one laying hen right now, her name is Spice, and she donated this egg to the cause today. And now we're gonna get messy and go ahead. I'm gonna put my hands right in and just mix this all together. And be careful not to really squeeze your meat. You just wanna mix it gently and lightly so that everything is incorporated. If you can get over the messiness of it, this is really fun for little ones like Hannah and Lydia. Hannah's 6, Lydia's 4, and they would love to be in here doing a little bit of this yummy mixing. And it has so much texture and flavor, and you can see all the colors mixing in. It smells really good. Here's one kind of big piece of onion that I'm going to throw out. that over there. So I'm not squeezing the meat, but I am making sure it's all incorporated. And you only need to use just one egg in this, just to bind that meat together. Okay, and now Rachel's going to show you how to prepare your silicone egg bite molds for cooking in the Instant Pot.
Okay.
Here's the cooking spray.
Awesome.
And I'm going to go wash my hands.
So we are using, like Mom said, the Hatrigo egg bites. So these are silicone, and we don't want it to stick. So I'm just gonna shake up some cooking spray and hold this up this way because you can't really have the cooking spray like this. So I'm just spraying directly across, getting in all the cracks and crevices so that it's completely coated on the inside. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. It's really easy. It's just a simple step to keep you from having to like poke a fork down in, and it's just hard to get it out when it sticks. So that's all there is to that. And are we ready to scoop?
Yeah, we're ready to
scoop. We use these cookie dough scoops.
Yes.
And you can use these for ice cream, meatballs, and this one is just the perfect size to fit in here. So I'm just gonna push it down in there, and we just have to do that for all 14 of these.
That's right. So I also wanted to say, if you don't already own the egg bite molds, highly recommend them, but you can use a custard cup, you can use ramekins. If you have a muffin tin that fits inside your Instant Pot, you can use that, or the silicone muffin cups, you can use those. So any small container that will fit inside your Instant Pot will work great. What we like about these molds is that you can squeeze them and everything pops right out. They just come right out really quick. It fits right in your Instant Pot. It's super convenient. They wash really easily. There is also a sling that goes with it that we sit down onto the trivet, and then it just pulls right out. It lifts right out easily. And also the silicone is not blazing hot at the end, and it stays out of the way while it's cooking, so it's pretty great. You can set that right on here.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
okay,
welcome.
so I'm gonna get the Instant Pot ready, and this is the Evo. We're really enjoying the Evo. We just got it. It's new to our family, and it cooks things a lot faster. Everything seems to come to pressure a lot quicker and release pressure a lot quicker. So it's a big improvement for Instant Pot, and so we're loving it. But pay attention to your cooking times. So our cooking time for these meatloaves is 10 minutes, and that will work in the Duo and the Ultra and the Evo, but just note that some Instant Pots have a little bit longer, it takes longer for them to come up to pressure and to release pressure. And remember that both of those amounts of time are like, your food is cooking during that time. So with the Evo, you have a little bit less overall cook time, so you may need to adjust the cooking time of your food accordingly. So but 10 minutes works great in these meatloaves, and we tested it in the Ultra and the Duo and the Evo. So we used 10 minutes, and then we've got a cup and a half of water in here, and I need a metal trivet. Elijah's gonna grab me a trivet.
A big one
There
for
you
the
go.
acorn.
That's great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. He's pretty handy. He's the guy who puts away the dishes. He's 9, so he pretty much knows where
11.
everything is.
He's 11.
He's 11.
He's gonna turn 12 in September.
They get old fast. He's 11. That's Elijah. Okay, so I'm just gonna button this little sling together, and we're gonna put it right in. Okay, so we've got our liquid in here. We're gonna close our valve. I have a little mnemonic device that I had to make up for myself to keep track of everything I need to remember when I'm starting the Instant Pot. And we showed that on our Fearless Newbie Instant Pot course. And it's liquid, lid, valve, program, pressure, time, pause. And I had to add the pause because I always wanted to press start on the Duo and it doesn't have a start button. Well, now the Evo does have a start button, so that's beside the point. But I always go through that little checklist. In my mind as I'm starting everything, so I make sure everything's right. Okay, so liquid, lid. Now valve, I'm going to make sure the valve is set to sealing. And then program, the program I want to choose, I'm going to press pressure cook. And I'm going to press custom. So that's like the manual setting or just pressure cook on whichever model you have. And we're going to adjust the time. Wait, I'm going to go back. Actually, we're going to leave the pressure. Go back to the time. Okay, press and hold. There we go. Okay, I'm going to adjust the time to 10 minutes. And I'm going to check the pressure, make sure it's on high pressure, and then press start. Okay, so someone asked about the molds and the sling and the trivet. I like to keep, for this recipe, I like to keep those egg bite molds up out of the water. And so if I put it on the trivet, then I'm just making sure it stays all the way up. You can test your sling and the depth of your water because the sling itself does lift those up. And so I just prefer, it's easy for me to just put the trivet down and the sling, and then I'm sure that everything's out of the water because the bottom of those meatloaves would cook faster if it's in the boiling, if the silicone is touching that boiling water, rather than steaming all the way up out of there. So, okay, so now we're gonna wait for our meatloaf bites to cook, and we've got some yummy mac and cheese to make in the meantime. And I've got a little tiny bit of meat over here I'm gonna clean up. And Rachel, if you wanna do some adjusting here, and we'll pull the other pot up.
Is this okay right here, or should we put it on?
Let's swap them.
Okay.
Totally. So we're gonna move the meatloaf pot out of the way while it's not under pressure, because we don't want to move an under pressure pot while it's under pressure. Thank you, honey. Yes, we're done with that. This is my fabulous husband. He's always available to do whatever we need. Thank you, babe. Okay, so mac and cheese. We're so excited about this.
We've been testing it over the past couple of days, and we got it.
We got it, and it's
absolutely
super
amazing.
Yummy. Okay, so here's what goes in the mac and cheese. The cheese, which goes in last, we're going to show you first. And okay, and I've got this little measuring device. Okay, so we've got 1 pound of pasta, and you can use any kind of pasta. If you use gluten-free, use gluten-free. If you use regular, whatever, if you have a favorite like lentil pasta or higher protein, any kind of pasta will work. And we're just gonna go ahead and put that in the pot. This is 16 ounces. And the ratio for cooking pasta of any kind is 1 pound of pasta, 1 quart of water. Or you can also use chicken broth. And then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of ground mustard, dried ground mustard. It sounds like sort of an odd ingredient, but it adds a huge amount of a really cheesy, sharp flavor.
Wait, it's gonna be really hard to stir it if you put it in like this. So should we like pour out a couple cups of it first?
We could.
When I was trying this yesterday, it took me forever to get all the little chunks stirred in.
So Rachel recommends pouring some of this liquid in first, so then you have less water to try to dissolve it in. But let's go ahead and give this a stir so the pasta doesn't start sticking together. And this is completely cold right now. Okay, so we're gonna put our 1 teaspoon of ground mustard in. And go ahead and start stirring that. And then we need the magic flavor dust.
We're going to put in half a teaspoon or a whole?
1 whole teaspoon of magic flavor dust.
Should I just sprinkle it in there?
Go ahead and use this.
Okay.
Okay, so again, we're using magic flavor dust, and I'm telling you, we use it all the time because it is such a convenient thing. It does not make all your food taste the same. It just adds that base of flavor. So she's stirring in the magic flavor dust, and then we've got salt. This is just regular, this is pink salt, but you can use regular salt, whatever kind of salt you have on hand, and this is 3/4 of a teaspoon. And you can see a couple of little clumps, like Rachel was talking about, of the ground mustard. And I'm gonna reach in and just break that little piece up. Okay, and then we're gonna pour this in to our pasta. So that adds a base of flavor to your water.
And it helps, and it's good because the pasta cooks in with all those spices, so it's kind of like, instead of just putting a sauce over the top, there's like flavor in the pasta also.
Right.
So it adds a lot of extra.
And you want to make
stuff.
That's right, adds a lot of flavor. You want to make sure that your macaroni or your pasta is completely submerged in the water. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of butter. Anytime you're cooking a really starchy food in the Instant Pot, you definitely want to make sure you add a little fat.
Do you mean a tablespoon?
I do mean a tablespoon.
Okay, just checking.
A tablespoon of butter. You want to use a little bit of fat, and that helps keep it from foaming up. Same with cooking it on the stove. You're less likely to have a boil over if you use some fat in there. It just keeps the bubbles from forming. Okay, so now we're going to set the time. The rule of thumb for the amount of cooking time that you use for pasta is take the time that it says on the package, which
I think it was 10 minutes.
Okay, Rachel's going to grab that package. Take the time it says on the directions of the package. So we should note that before we always throw it away. And
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
So we're going to do 4.
So what you do is you cut the lowest cooking time in half. That's 4.5. And then if it's an odd number, you round it down to 4 minutes. So we're going to set the cooking time for this for 4 minutes. And so we're going to press, we're just going to wake it up, press pressure cook, and we're going to adjust the time down to 4 minutes. Our pressure stays on high pressure, and then we're going to press start. And this is going to cook and come up to a boil. And while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and get our cheeses ready for the mac and cheese.
Okay.
So, for the mac and cheese.
There was so much cheese.
Because there's so much
delightful.
cheese. So we use 8 ounces of cream cheese. We have not tested it with the low-fat cream cheese, but it doesn't seem to melt as well when we've used it in other things. So what we're going to do is soften up this cream cheese. You want it to be as room temperature as possible. And we're going to just stick it in the microwave to soften it up for about 20 seconds. After you can't put this aluminum foil stuff in the microwave. So we just turn it out onto a plate. And this has been sitting out softening for a little while. And we're going to turn this out onto our plate here. And cut that into about 8 pieces,
And the cream cheese really helps the cheddar melt.
Yes.
Because in the past we've tried it and the cheddar gets kind of grainy because it's so hard and it's not very appealing. So the cream cheese helps with that.
That's right.
Gives the perfect gooey, delicious texture.
Creamy and smooth. It just helps smooth out that cheddar. Okay, what's happening with the meatloaf?
It says, oh, it's cooking.
Okay.
Just started cooking.
So it's under pressure?
Yep.
Great. And you can see how fast that Evo works. So this is already partially soft. So maybe just
20
about
seconds?
20 seconds in the microwave. Okay, let me use my little spoon rest. Okay, and now we really enjoy using regular blocks of cheddar cheese, and then we It tastes so much better. It's not grainy. It doesn't have the cellulose powder in there, but I would love to do this onto a plate. And so I recommend getting a block of cheese because I think the end product is going to be a lot smoother if you don't have all that anti-caking stuff in there. Plus, it really tastes better fresh like this. And if you get an excellent
Microplane
shredder, this is a
grater.
microplane. We got it on Amazon. It is super sharp, and you can see it's just really easy to shred this, and it's a great job for kind of a medium age kid to do, a great way for them to help in the kitchen. So you want to have all the cheese grated and ready and the cream cheese softened before the pasta is done cooking in the Instant Pot, so
And that way
these
you
can
can
go in immediately. So yummy. I love cheese. Okay, so if anybody has any questions as we're going, please feel free to put those in the comments and we'll try to answer them. Gail is also on there. She helps answer questions, and that's such a help. The link to these recipes is posted in the comments, so you can find that. Our website is thecookingfamily.com, so you can go there to find the recipes. And we also hope that we would appreciate if you would like our Facebook page at The Cooking Fam, at facebook.com/thecookingfam. Okay, here's our cream cheese and our cheddar cheese. And let's make our sauce now. This is not quite ready. Okay, so we're gonna set this cheese aside and wait for that pasta to cook in the Instant Pot. And now we're gonna make our awesome sauce for the meatloaf bites.
And the sauce really is awesome. We
So good.
loved it. It's way better than just putting ketchup, even though ketchup would be fine.
Ketchup is fine, but it's super yummy when you just, instead of just plain old sauce, make awesome sauce. Okay, so the recipe is 1/3 of a cup of ketchup, regular old ketchup, whatever you like. And we're just gonna measure it right into this little measuring cup. How are we? Are we getting close? Got
Yep.
it kind of.
I'd say one more good
One
squeeze
more
and
good
we're there.
squeeze.
Yep, there,
Okay.
we're there. Awesome.
There you go. What do you want to put in?
I'll put in the Worcestershire. Worcestershire has such flavor. I really like it.
A lot of umami. Just a couple
Ooh,
little
that was-
dashes and drops of Worcestershire sauce.
And some hot sauce. And there. I'm just gonna do one for now. And same with some liquid smoke, just to add a little smoky flavor. I'm gonna do it into this lid here because like that, it can add too much. So I'm just gonna do it like that.
That is good thinking. Okay, Rachel is, you can tell, she's an experienced cook. So when your recipe calls for a small amount, like a couple of dashes, and you try to think, okay, I can pour it out the top.
Yeah.
No, it never works. So I love your idea there about pouring it into the lid first and just sprinkling a couple drops. So anytime we're live, our these videos will be on our Facebook page at the Cooking Family on Facebook. And so you don't have to hunt around our timeline. You just go to the Cooking Family on Facebook and you'll find it right at the top live. And we hope that you'll do that and share it with your friends. Okay, it's facebook.com/thecookingfam/live, and you can go there and find our videos. So this is honey, and it doesn't look normal because it's all
Crystallized.
Thank you. This we got local honey from our dairy that's close by, and it's, remind me how much?
I think you paid, oh yeah.
Half a tablespoon. No, 2 teaspoons.
Yes.
I could not remember. Okay, so 2 teaspoons of honey. And this is going to take a little bit of effort to stir in since it's all crystallized, but it will incorporate. And I'm just going to smush that out with my finger. And here's one more of that yummy, yummy honey. Abigail is so excited. She got bees, she and Meemaw, and they were blessed. Actually, Abigail was blessed with a scholarship in our county. There is a bee club, and they do a scholarship with a mentorship, a 2-year mentorship to train her on how to raise up bees. And it's pretty exciting, and we're all learning a bunch.
So I'm doing half a teaspoon of ground cumin. That adds some little Mexican flair, just very yummy.
Little, but it
just
adds a real
lot of
smoky flavor to this. It's kind of a surprise ingredient in this sauce because it just sort of kicks it up a notch to make it awesome sauce. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little taste. It's good. I'm gonna keep stirring that honey in.
I was a little scared of the hot sauce. Should I add any more?
Well, I like it spicy. The little girls don't. Maybe I'll just add more to mine.
All right.
No, I'm gonna do one more little drop.
Yeah.
One more drop so that hot sauce, sometimes if you just get just the right amount but not too much, it can just really brighten the flavor of your food. So don't be afraid of it, but also it's not really fun.
You can always add more. You cannot take any out.
That's right. You can always add more, and it's not fun trying to eat with a 2-year-old who's
crying about
their tongue hurting and won't eat their food. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's just sad. Okay, I'm going to check on this. We are not up to pressure yet.
Okay. Well,
this is warming up, though.
3 minutes left.
This has 3 minutes left on the meatloaves. So we're just going to, what? Oh, I'm going to show you my awesome new spoon rest too. So this spoon rest is also another Hatrigo product that Mr. Tran let us try out, and it is a great spoon rest because it keeps all your spoons organized. It lets all the juice and stuff drip off onto the spoon rest without getting your counter all dirty. So Rachel's job is to wipe the counters. And so she's kind of endlessly lovingly reminding everyone to please use a spoon rest. But this is awesome because if you have several dishes going with different spoons and things, you don't have all your spoons spread out on the counter making messes everywhere. They're just all contained here in one spot so that
that spoon rest is so easy to clean. It doesn't have like a bunch of seams in it, so it's just like rinse it off, wipe it off.
Awesome. Yeah. And it cleans up easy, so that's fantastic. Okay, we're at pressure now, and it's gonna just start counting down in a couple minutes. And so we're hanging out. So if you guys have questions, we hope that you'll put them in the comments, and we'll try to answer questions. I'm trying to think of other Instant Pot things that we could discuss.
We could talk about our broth bag.
Oh, we could talk about our broth bag. So here we have this bowl of veggies, and of course we're not going to waste this bell pepper. We'll probably use it in dinner, or next time we cook with a bell pepper, we'll put this in a baggie, like a zip top bag. But all of our carrot ends, our celery pieces, onions, what we're going to do with those is put them in the freezer in a zip top bag, and then we make homemade Instant Pot bone broth, super quick and easy because we've got those veggies in the freezer. And then also anytime we use chicken bones when we're cooking, we freeze those in a zip top bag. So we've got bags of bones and bags of veggies. And then when it's time to make broth, and we do it about every week at least.
At least, yeah.
We just throw all those ingredients right in the Instant Pot, fill it up with water, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, bay leaves, peppercorns, and then about 2 hours later we have awesome broth right in our fridge. We just strain it with a little mesh strainer right into jars. And I used to freeze it in zip top bags, and I would only make it every month or so, and those bags got leaky. But because of the Instant Pot making it so easy, we cook broth all the time, and it just sort of took the hassle out of it. So we always have liquid, fresh, practically free bone broth, really nutritious, right in the fridge to use with all of our recipes. So
the meatloaf went off. Are we ready to release it?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just going to turn it
Wait
this
that
way.
up. Okay, so another cool thing about the Evo is this plastic cover over the steam release, and it really diffuses that steam so that it's not such a strong blast right up into your kitchen.
And it's not so loud.
And it's not nearly as loud, and somehow it vents faster. So it comes down from pressure a lot quicker. This is the 8-quart, and in our 8-quart duo, I'm trying to show, oh, that won't turn anymore.
We could unplug it.
We could unplug it.
Or it's done
Well, I
cooking.
was going to look at the time,
Oh,
though.
okay.
We'll wait a second.
We'll wait for
till
it to
drops.
release.
In our 8-quart duo, it kind of seemed to take forever for it to release the steam. It says 2 minutes. Okay. Abigail says so far it has been releasing for almost 2 minutes.
But we hadn't pushed it on venting.
That's true.
2 minutes ago.
And there the pin dropped. So that was really a quick release. So we quick released our meatloaf bites. And I wanted to show the temperature, but I forgot the thermometer.
We'll get it.
So Rachel's going to grab the thermometer. When you're cooking meat, you want to just check the temperature of your meat to make sure that it is
food
safe temperature. So we've got this handy little thermometer that we love to use. Always open the Instant Pot away from your face. And then that's really steamy in there. I'm going to wait till that steam dissipates for just a second. A hot pad won't help.
Okay.
It's just steam is going to come up. This silicone is not hot. But I'm just going to stick the thermometer down in here, and we're going to test that temperature and make sure it's up to about 165 to 170, and we're already there.
Awesome.
It's close. Yeah, it's at 180.
That's plenty hot.
Plenty hot for this to be completely cooked through. And that just gives me assurance as a mom that I'm making sure that the meat is cooked for my family. Okay, I'm going to pull this whole thing out here. And
do you want
you'll
to
see just how easy this thing is. Yeah, or I'll set it right there.
And we had a plate somewhere.
Awesome. We might need to grab another plate.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to move this whole Instant Pot back out of the way again. It still has that hot liquid in there, hot water.
I'm just going to go ahead and
there you go. That's great. Okay. And here is our little plate. And we've got 1 more minute left on our mac and cheese. We want to be ready for that.
Yep.
Because we want to quick release our mac and cheese right away. Okay, so here is our meatloaf bite. And our serving suggestion probably for an adult is about 3 of these.
The kids will usually have 2, maybe one
probably
if
have
like
2,
Lydia.
or some of the teenagers have a pretty hearty appetite. And then here I'm going to put a little of our awesome sauce on here. And just a little dollop right on top of each one. And that's going to be so tasty. Yum, yum.
Here we go. I'm going to release this.
So pasta and starchy foods in the Instant Pot can sometimes start spewing, especially if you get a little wild and crazy and make a double batch and fill it way up high, which is not recommended. But if that should start to happen, do not panic. Just close the valve just like you opened it. the worst thing to do would be to panic and move your Instant Pot. So just remain calm, close it back up, and then do an intermittent release. That's where you stop it every now and then, start it again, stop it, start it again. That's an intermittent release or a controlled quick release. And then we're going to be ready to stir in our cream cheese immediately. Cheesy. Okay, so with this recipe, what I'm hoping to see when we open the pot is a little bit of excess liquid that hasn't been absorbed by the macaroni yet. And we're going to spread the cream cheese, just kind of try to not drop it all in one big blob.
We're going to start to melt.
That's right, so it can start to melt. We're going to stir in the cream cheese as quick as we can before we add the cheddar cheese, but we want to take advantage of the heat that's in the pot right now. So if we were to wait around, then the cheese is not going to melt as quickly and easily. So we're going to, as soon as it releases, we're going to open up that lid, stir in the cream cheese, and then stir in the shredded cheese. And we're going to try not to have any of it all in one big giant clump. So our family loves this. Of course, everyone loves pasta. It's so yummy.
And with cheese, it's just so delicious.
Cheesy,
it's just comfort
yummy
food, especially with some meatloaf.
That's right. Mac and cheese.
It's almost there.
So, were there any questions? My awesome, handsome assistant. Yes. If you don't want to take the time to make the awesome sauce, which I highly recommend trying, you could use barbecue sauce. You could use plain ketchup. We also really enjoyed these meatloaf bites without any sauce at all. They had so much flavor, and they tasted delicious. And because we use a little bit of a lower cooking time than a lot of people do, so our meatloaf is not all dried out. Sometimes you just need sauce because meat gets dried out. So we really tried to not let everything totally dry out. Yeah, it's still under pressure. Pin's not dropping yet, but it will. That is funny. It seems kind of stuck. There it went. There. I just wiggled it a little and it went down. We could hear that the Instant Pot was not under pressure. Okay, so we're going to put our cream cheese right down in here. Notice how nice and soft that is. And I'm just going to start to stir. And let's see. So yes, you can see there's just a little bit of excess liquid in there, and by the end you will not have watery pasta. It will just be melted all together. It kind of adds to the sauce, and remember we have a lot of flavor right in that sauce. And Rachel, I think you could start to go ahead and sprinkle that cheddar in. We like to use sharp cheddar cheese. I think that gives the cheesy flavor that I'm always looking for. And you can, for budgetary reasons or fat reasons, get away with using a little bit less if you use a sharper cheese. But of course, any cheddar cheese would work for this. And you can see how that cheese is just melting in there, looking all yummy.
So melty and delicious.
Creamy. I love how the cream cheese in this helps the cheddar to melt into creamy. Sometimes cheddar gets a little greasy when it melts.
Kind of, yeah, it can.
Okay, look at this. So amazing. Look at those yummy strings of cheese. Okay.
This pasta is so pretty too. I love all the cream.
Yes, that little, I think it's
gemelli.
Yeah. That's Italian for twins or something. Okay.
Ready to
Looks
taste?
awesome. Yes. Wait. I want a little black pepper.
Ooh, yeah. That
black pepper is so good on mac and cheese. Just adds a lot of flavor, and I might put a little cayenne on my little taste.
You can put it on all of it. I'll eat it.
Yeah, you'll eat it too. This is a little cayenne pepper, and that just lifts up the creamy and makes it not quite so heavy. Okay. Yum. Of course, I want to try the mac and cheese first.
That's good.
That is great. The pasta, every time I make pasta in the Instant Pot, it amazes me that it's al dente. It is not overcooked. It is not mushy. Really encourage you to try it.
Meatloaf time?
Yes. I'm going to sneeze. I think I got a little pepper.
Yep, that's good.
Excuse me.
5 stars from the cameraman. Yummy.
Yes, that's delicious.
Yep, that's
Don't forget to get some awesome sauce. Awesome. Well, we're so glad you've been here with us today. It's been a lot of fun. We hope you'll make your family a wonderful comfort food, or actually make it with them, and comfort food meal in these days that are kind of challenging. Please like our page. I still have food in my mouth. Like our page on Facebook, The Cooking Family, and you can go to our website and sign up on our email list. You can get a free Fearless Newbie Instant Pot mini course on there and join our cooking family. And we want you to remember that you can cook a great meal with your family and enjoy eating it together. And we just thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
Have a great week. Oh, next week we're going to make breakfast on this program, and so we're going to be making breakfast, and we hope you'll join us next week on Thursday at 11:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Central Time, and
we're gonna make steel cut oats.
Yes, we're going to make steel cut oats, and we're going to make some cream eggs and some regular egg bites for some great breakfast ideas that our family loves to eat. So we hope you'll join us next week, same time, same place. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.